The BRICS Club is expanding. Over 40 countries are knocking on the BRICS door, eager to join the global powerhouse. But that's not all. The game-changing news is that 6 countries, including big oil players, are set to storm into the BRICS family on January 1st, 2024. These countries are Argentina, Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. It isn't just about membership, it's a monumental shift in the global economy and geopolitics. Rumors are that BRICS will introduce a new currency to challenge the dominance of the US dollar. Could this strategic move end the US dollar's supremacy? A few months ago, Trump also warned about a possible crash of the US dollar.
Which will be our greatest defeat, frankly, in 200 years. There will be no defeat like that. That will take us away from being even a great power.
A quick reminder to like the video. BRIC, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, and China, emerged as a response to the 2008 global financial crisis. The first BRIC summit occurred in 2009 at Yekaterinburg, Russia, establishing the dialogue platform for the 4 countries. In 2010, South Africa's inclusion turned BRIC into BRICS, diversifying representation as the sole African member. While it comprises just 5 nations, its impact is far-reaching. With 1/4 of the world's land and 40% of its population, 16% of global trade and GDP surpassing the G7, BRICS is not just a collection of countries. It has evolved from an economic alliance to a distinct approach in global affairs aiming to challenge the Western-dominated G7. Interestingly, around 40 countries, including some important friends of the United States from the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, are getting closer to China and Russia. This expansion, set to represent approximately 50% of the global production by 2040, suggests a shift in power dynamics away from traditional Western dominance. Today, the United States is the sole superpower. Its dominance spans finance, technology, and military. Nobody can really compete with the US, not even China. But what if a bunch of countries work together to challenge the US? It is where BRICS steps in as a group of fast-growing economies teaming up. Johannesburg hosted the 15th BRICS Summit from August 22nd to 24th, 2023, chaired by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. Discussions encompassed global economy, climate and security, and revealed BRICS's expansion plans. During the bloc summit, Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that the days of the dominance of the US dollar in trade among BRICS countries are numbered. So what exactly is BRICS' economic game plan? At its core, BRICS foresees a multipolar world where a handful of nations don't dictate the global agenda. The Russian-Ukraine conflict reminded everyone that the US dollar, beyond being a currency, also functions as a geopolitical tool. When Russia targeted Ukraine, the US promptly responded with sanctions, such as expulsion from the SWIFT global money transfer network and freezing of assets. Since 80% of worldwide trade relies on the US dollar, nations hold foreign reserves, mainly in US dollars, overseen by the US Federal Reserve. Just like Russia's interest in Ukraine, China also wants to bring Taiwan under its control. However, China relies heavily on trade, and fear of sanctions stops China from attacking Taiwan. So China has been getting ready since 2009 to decrease its dependence on the US dollar. To understand the BRICS plan, let's look at the timeline. BRICS started in 2009 after a big financial crisis. Since 2014, these countries have been meeting every year. After the pandemic in 2020, many countries had money problems, and some didn't get help from a big organization called the IMF. In 2022, Russia entered Ukraine, and the West punished them with sanctions. But other countries still traded with Russia. In 2022, some countries also started using the dollar less. In 2023, a major American bank, Silicon Valley Bank, collapsed, reminding us of a similar time in 2008 when BRICS began. And in 2023, BRICS countries started collecting more gold. According to the World Gold Council, 3 BRICS founding countries were among the world's top 10 gold holders by the end of the first quarter of 2023. India bought 3 tons, Russia bought 31 tons, and China purchased a substantial 102 tons of gold in the last 6 months. It could mean they want to create a new currency backed by gold. To make this new money work, they need more countries to join. Everyone must agree, and people must trust it. BRICS is working on all these things. While the idea of a new currency has gained traction, the practical implication remains a significant hurdle. Consider the evolution of the euro. In 1987, France and West Germany recognized the necessity of a single currency despite their differing economic strengths. Here's the thing, though. It took 10 years to make the euro happen. They started talking about it in 1987, but the euro as coins and paper money only showed up in 2002. Euro's example illustrates that you don't make a new currency overnight. It needs a lot of planning and talking, even within relatively similar and closely situated regions. Applying these lessons to BRICS, the challenge of introducing a new currency becomes even more complex due to the existing rivalries among its two important members, India and China. Challenges can arise, like deciding on the currency's value, establishing a central authority to manage it, and ensuring that each country's interests are considered. However, the Euro's success story teaches us that even nations with differing strengths can collaborate for a shared currency's benefits. Some parts of this plan are already happening. India and Russia are trading goods using their own money, which is helping them do more business. But there are challenges. China and India are important in this plan, but they have their own priorities and issues to sort out. But wait, currently the US dollar is a powerful global currency, holding its throne for about 80 years in central bank reserves and international trade. Still, some worry that BRIC's success in their plans might affect the dollar's value. However, it's not easy for any currency to crash suddenly. Changes can happen over time. Economic instability, global shifts in trade, and political decisions can influence a currency's value. Furthermore, most of the world's debt is linked to the US dollar. This connection gains strength from the US military's widespread influence. These factors contribute to the dollar's sturdy position. Despite the potential, BRICS Plus initiatives may not translate into an immediate threat to the dollar's supremacy. But things might be different in the future.